Alright, are you gonna fucking work? Will they fucking trabaja? Ah, man, my ass hurts. There will be two versions of this podcast. There will be a audio version that will be big news, the United States just fucking dumped Donald Trump. That is finally some good fucking news, but to be honest, I kind of feel indifferent about that, and I know I'm gonna sound like an asshole here. No, I'm not gonna even try to defend myself. I am an asshole in this situation in the sense that I don't care. Dude, I live on a fucking small island in the southern Caribbean that 90% of the world doesn't even know exists. I have bills to pay. I have a family to care for and love. I also have my own goals and stuff to focus on. So why the hell would I freaking stress over an election that's half a world away? But that being said, in this election, it does have some far-reaching effects. For example, how would this affect relations between the US and the communist regime in China? Now, keep in mind, I do think that, the communist regime in China is kind of sad that Mr. Trump is no longer president. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm pretty sure they were using this dude as kind of a way to show the world, to basically paint the US in a picture paint the US in a way where it's been losing its good name throughout the world, and I'm pretty sure the Chinese government actually wanted that to happen, to spread bad propaganda about the US in China. And now with Donald Trump gone, and Biden hopefully will focus more and more, I would say, more diplomatic solutions to a lot of the world issues that we face today, especially going into the Paris Accord, the Paris Climate Accord. I'm pretty sure the Chinese government might be not shaking in their boots, but they might be watching the following unfolding events quite closely. Now, it can have like far-reaching effects between relations between the US and India, US and Iran. That was a fucking mess. There's also relations between the US and Cuba. That's actually closer to where we are right now. So even though I constantly, fucking jab at people who live here and stress way too much about the election, it is a good idea to actually have a decent picture of how this might affect you or how this might affect the rest of the world, be that positive or negative. So you have to figure out what goes well and what goes wrong. This is something that I learned from a fucking awesome YouTuber that's funny as hell, Nux Taku. I'll fucking link him in the description. There's Nux Taku and there's Nexanor, his second channel. And dude, he says something that resonates with my soul. All right, you can either choose to cry at the toxicity or laugh at the toxicity. I choose to fucking laugh at the toxicity. Like, I'm looking at people posting about like literally just posting shit. Dude, we live in a country that I'm pretty sure 60 to 70% of the US doesn't even know exists. to give you some perspective, Aruba is basically just a speck of dirt, a very beautiful speck of dirt in the southern Caribbean. We have our issues, but still, it's a nice place to visit, not exactly a nice place to live. But yeah, it's like really funny to me watching people stress over this election. Like, bro, it's good that you have this opinion, but who the fuck are you? You didn't vote. We can't vote. Do you think you have like any influence as to how this election is gonna go? How the outcome is gonna be? Like, no. So in the meantime, just sit back, enjoy the popcorn, shut the fuck up, and enjoy the fucking show. It's like watching a fucking MMA fight, grabbing a bag of popcorn and seeing who the fuck's gonna win and who the fuck's gonna break a nose. Leading up to the freaking election, there were like people boarding up windows in stores in New York. Like, they were anticipating absolute mayhem. But then again, it could be also they are boarding up stores that are closing in New York due to the pandemic, which is also something that's been going on for the past few months now, but people seem to be putting that on the back burner. The election takes literal presidency over people who are losing their jobs, losing their businesses. But yeah, great to know that people have their priorities straight. But then again, I say that, but we have to take into consideration that a lot of people simply do not have the time. They simply don't have the time to think about the bigger picture. I'm guilty of this. Everybody's guilty of this. We simply have other things to do, other things to worry about. This was actually from a book I read. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, it's right there in my cabinet. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari. And one quote that stuck out to me in that book is, "History gives no discounts." Okay? If the future of humanity is decided in your absence because you're too busy feeding your family, you and them will not be exempt from the consequences. consequences of a choice you never made. This is very unfair. But whoever said history was fair. And that resonated with me so damn much, because it is true. A lot of us just simply do not have the time to think about that type of stuff, which is why the same reason I'm kind of like indifferent to the results of the election. In fact, the only thing that I was worried about in the election was, are people gonna stop calling me Trump, because my last name is Trump with an O. It's a very common last name here on Aruba. But people have been calling, hey Trump, what's up? Hey, how's your granddad doing up there in the White House? Shut the fuck up.